we have some Japanese rasps over here, and we have some Western rasps over here. We're going to go head to head and see how they compare against each other. So for our first test, we're going to have a go at rounding off a corner here. This piece is 44 mil thick by about 80 mil wide. So it's about 1 3/4 inches by 3 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go as hard as I can for 15 seconds. First with this one, then with the Shinto, and we'll see which one performs better. Here's my timer, and here I go. Just going to measure how much we've taken off there now, and we'll just do that by just holding up this piece of wood and seeing. It's kind of taken about an 8 mil radius, not a very clean radius, but it's taken off about 8 mil from that side. So now I'm just going to turn it around and do the other corner. It's easier for me to get it from this side, so I'll just flip it around like this. This Jarrah wood, it's very hard wood. It has a Janka rating of about 8.5 kilonewtons. So to give you an idea, American white oak is about 6 kilonewtons. So this is quite a hard wood to work with. Now let's see how we do it this one this time. So the Shinto saw rasp has taken about 11 mil radius, and is actually much nicer all the way down as well. And it was, in my opinion, a lot easier to use. So you can see the difference between the two sides. I did have to struggle a bit to get that one even badly like that. But whereas with the Shinto saw rasp on the coarse setting, it was a lot easier. So the next test we'll do is we'll just try some surface planing. You know, this is used quite often by surfboard builders, wooden or fiberglass, to shape over the top of the boards and for all kinds of shaping. And this is used for the same, you know. So we'll give it a go and see which one feels better. So this is the surf form. That's done okay, but I don't like these here, you know. Some big gouges there. I'll try and remove them. Okay, as you can still see, the finish is a bit rough, you know. So here we go with the Shinto now. Let's grab the other Shinto as well, just to see how that goes as well. Shinto is a lot easier to use. So I've gone over that with the rough side of the Shinto saw rasp. If you feel this is a lot smoother and nicer, and the curve feels more curvy, this one, it's harder to get this one level and nice like this one. There's a bit of resistance on there. So as you can see, the saw rasp, it's not getting stuck on the wood, it's just removing anything it encounters. And you can tell by the sound that is consistently taking off the same amount. It's not getting stuck. And it feels much nicer to use. You don't feel like you're struggling against the wood. It's just kind of like you're shaving it or planing it. So another good thing about the saw rasp is that because of its design, it's much less likely to get clogged, because it's just bandsaw blades riveted together. And Shinto is in fact a bandsaw blade company. That's their main product that they do, and this is just a sideline which has proved very popular. So you can see the sound of this and the feel of it. It's much more like a bit of a struggle to the blade. Also is a little bit, there's resistance. It doesn't go straight, it wants to go like that. It wants to follow the grain somewhat, whereas the Shinto saw rasp just carries on the path that you're pushing. So as you can see here, this side is the surf form, and you can see there are a lot of uneven undulations and marks on this side, whereas if you compare it with this side with the Shinto saw rasp, you can see it's a lot smoother. There are no undulations because, as I said before, the rasp seems to follow the direction that you're pushing in, whereas with the Surform it sometimes catches on the grain and follows the grain. So as you can see, the Surform doesn't clean out as easily. You can probably blur that out, but after a while this will start getting clogged to a point where you have to clean the whole thing out every time before you use it. So whereas the Shinto saw rasp, you can see there are a few tiny bits left in there, but it's pretty much clear all the way through. So we've been doing this test for about 10 minutes now, and already this one is beginning to change the performance. It was cutting very well at the first, but now when I try it, it's not cutting as well, and you can feel here it's beginning to lose its sharpness, and also there's a bit of movement in the blade there. Compare that with my old saw rasp. I've been using this for about a year now, and compared to this one flimsy piece of metal here which is perforated, this has got 10 bandsaw blades. I've been using this about 1 year in my workshop, and this rasp here is even older. This must be about 3 years old now. I'll go back to this and have another go at that just so you can see the difference. It's really, the performance has dropped on this significantly now. And we've literally been using it for about 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, price-wise, these are similar, but quality-wise, they're quite different. As you can see, the Shinto saw rasp is made out of 10 bandsaw blades riveted together in that diamond pattern. The Surform, even though it looks solid, it's actually got a very thin piece of perforated metal, and that's the blade. And I can feel when I run my thumb here that is really beginning to lose its sharpness. I mean, Jarrah is a very hard wood, like I said, 8.5 kilonewtons Janka rating, so it's pretty hard. It's just as hard for the Shinto saw rasp, and this one's about 3 years old and it's still going very, very strong. This is all blade basically. This is all blade with a handle, whereas this is all handle and thing with a tiny little bit of blade. Over time, you're going to be replacing this many more times, whereas this one will last you for years before you need to change one. On this particular type of Shinto saw rasp, the blade is replaceable, and this saw rasp is designed so that you can also use it on the surface like that without the handle getting in the way. To change the blade, you take this, see the knob here, undo this knob, take it out. If you look closely, there's a locating pin there and a locating pin there. You simply turn it around, hook this into place. It all sets in place very nicely, and then tighten the nail knob, and then it's good to go. Next test, we're going to look at these two types of rasps here. This is the Wataoka rasp made in Japan, and this is a rasp that's just regularly available from your hardware store. I think it's made in China, I'm not sure. But we'll see how they go against the Jarrah here and how they perform. This is actually, I just want to point out, this is a much coarser rasp. I should really compare like for like, but the Wataoka rasps they're actually a finer grit. Okay, let's get started. I'll just try and do a little simple little gouge in this side here. I'll give it maybe 10 strokes. It's not bad. It's pretty aggressive. We'll try with this one. So in spite of this being less coarse, it's cut pretty much the same amount of wood, and if you feel it here, this feels much smoother and nicer. So another important feature of the Shinto saw rasp and the Wataka rasps is that they can be used on ferrous and non-ferrous metal. So these are obsolete in this application. Might as well put them to the side. So here I have a bit of box aluminium. It's 2 mil thick sides, and we'll see how this goes. This is doing a pretty nice job. So yes, that does a pretty good job. So this is a bit of stainless steel sheet. It's about 4 millimeters thick, and let's see how the saw rasp goes with that. So if you look, it's a very even grain you see on that. So as you can see, this is stainless steel. It's very hard steel. It's ferrous, you know. So it's very hard, harder than the aluminium. Sometimes you do need, as a woodworker, you need to work with a bit of metal, maybe file it down a bit, get it down in size or shape it a bit. And instead of buying a whole lot of metalworking tools, you can resort to your trusty Shinto saw rasp. As you can see, it's done a very nice job of beveling that edge there. And if you wanted to smooth that further, you'd go over with your normal files and get that nice and smooth. That's it for today. The difference between Japanese rasps and Western rasps. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.